Hey everyone, welcome back. So we will make this cute little pendant today. This is called Mini Quinn, and I am using a 10mm round mood stone. It's not really a stone, it's glass, and it's got color changing paint inside of it. These are so much fun. And I'm going to do this in 16 inches of 18 gauge square copper wire, but you could substitute with round and you can substitute with 20 gauge. The tie wire here is 26 gauge. You could also use 28 gauge. I might use 28 gauge by the time I get there. Alright, so I'm going to take my wire. I've already straightened it with my fingers. And in the approximate middle, I'm going to make a round circle that I think will just go over the shoulder of the stone there, the soft shoulder of the stone. So since the stone is about 10mm, probably needs to be about 8mm, and you can use anything that you think might work. This pen is really good. I'll just get in the approximate center. Come all the way around the dowel and just make a nice circle. And you might have to adjust it smaller or bigger to fit the top of your stone. It should sit about like that. That's pretty good actually. Okay. The stone shouldn't fall all the way through it. And then right about here where they cross, you can mark them if you want to, or you can just eyeball it. I'm going to get some sturdy narrow nose pliers, and right here about the center where they cross, I'm just going to hold real tight, and I'm just going to not shift anything, but just bend this wire forward. And then I'll flip it, and right where they cross I'll hold my nice loop, whoop, and I'll turn this wire up, try to get them to sit side by side here. I think I did this one a little bit too much. Just like to put them on top of each other and kind of give a jiggle. Just make sure that's as nice as you can get it. That's pretty good. Check the fit and make sure it didn't grow too much. That's great. So I've still got downward pressure on that. And I'm going to give this a little hammer. That's optional. You can do that to your liking. I'm going to put my neck back together here and get it close again and see if that was just enough. And it probably is. I've still got tension on it and it's not popping through now, so whew. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap this little bit, and I'll just use some 26 gauge wire. You can use 26 or 28. You can also use half round wire. So you want to hold it this way so that your long end is going up. Okay, so just wrap until it fits your stone. It's probably about a ½ inch wrap for me. cut it so that it's on the side that is going to flip up and inside, just like that. Do a little tap, squish everything together here. And right here, at the base of where, you know, they bend, you leave about a 1 millimeter opening right there. Start to bend this frame. You know, it depends on the thickness of your piece here. So bend the frame in half, leaving, you know, just a few millimeter. Just work carefully, about like that. That should be enough to catch my stone. I'll slip it in there. It's still going to be a little bit loose. It might actually be too big. You don't want it to be so big that it doesn't put tension against your stone. So I'm just going to take this and close it up a little bit more. Keeping the front nice and straight. Get your stone slipped in there. Should sit right about like that, and you should feel like it wants to hold it but might not quite. So that's about like that. Okay. I'm going to take this up a little bit more. So I'll just go up a few more. Okay, so right about there. That's pretty good. You should have a little bit of space there in case you need to make adjustments. I shouldn't on this one. But that's where you can, you know, make it wider if you need to. Mine's actually pretty good. So I'm going to harden this. You could wrap the whole frame if you want to. I'm going to do a nice bare frame, but to harden it, it's better with your round nose actually. Get your round nose pliers and just do some burnishing right here. Just rubbing it back and forth to harden it. About 1.5 inches for the bail. Not too much. And then flip it over, do the other wire. So I've just got them in here and I'm doing this to harden it. Okay. You could hammer it if you want to, but this works pretty good. Alright, and then once it's hardened, you'll get up there with your round nose, and you want about maybe 3 millimeter opening for your bail, and you can make this as long as you want. Mine's about 1 inch, maybe, you know, from the edge of this, make 3/4 of an inch from the wrap. So then I'll just turn it over. I like a nice long bail. You can make yours shorter or longer. I'm going to turn it over itself, just like that. I'm going to use my fingers and just bring this neck a little closer to this back wire. These two are going to want to bend up when you push here. Just let them do that. Just work very controlled, just like that. And then you can take this wire. There's okay if there's a couple of millimeter there of gap. It's okay. Just do 3 or 4 nice tight wraps to get it settled. Make sure that there's no bubbles in this wire. It's a nice tight wrap. And then once you get a few wraps on it, you want to split these two. So you can hold it here or however it's more comfortable for you. And just pull these out to horizontal just above the frame here. Just above the stone. Okay, kind kind of like that. If you went too far, it's okay. You can stick a bead in there. It's cute that way too. Just make sure it's not too far. You want these two kind of above the stone. So I'm holding the head of my front pressure frame, and I call it the flipper. My membership and I named it the flipper because that's easier to say. And I'm just going to curve this wire down the edge, just like Quinn. Careful, my stone's a little bit loose. Yours might be a little tighter. I'm going to tap it a little closer here in a second before I get this other one. Just going to do a real controlled pressure squeeze right there to tighten my frame up slightly. Okay, yours might not need it. Mine was just jiggling a little too much. It's okay if there's a little motion, but just so long as it's not falling through anywhere. I'm going to squeeze these back together because mine will be better that way. And I could tighten that there by just wrapping it if I needed to, but that kind of tightened my frame up a little bit. Alright, and just try to keep your square wires square. They start to turn on their points. You can just get control of them, get a nice slope, and then just curve around. Try to make it look similar to the other side. Okay, just like Quinn. And right here, start with the back one. I'm going to flip it up. I get a hardy plier. Since my first turn is right there, I'm going to go just right above it. Grip the wire, don't lose your nice curve. Don't push, don't pull. Just do a real controlled turn. Keep this wire along the side. Just turn it straight up the back like that. So just turn it up the side like that, and then do the other one. Try to get it similar. Come back here with your pliers and kind of just hold my frame together like this. Get a nice grip on your wire. Turn it back. Turn it up onto the back of the stone. Straight up the back. Just like that. If this wire were big enough, you know, I might be able to go back down, and I'm just going to grab a few wraps while the wires are up here. Just make sure that they are sitting as you want them to, nice and flat. You can put the frame down and kind of settle it a little bit if you need to. And I might turn that a little bit. If you need to turn these inward slightly, just work very controlled, and it should be very slight. That one. Okay. Just little wings. I'll take this existing wire, square them up a little bit. I'm just going to make 2 or 3 wraps going through the frame there a couple of times. To catch on these 2 wires. And I'm not going to do a lot because I'm going to turn these over. Just getting a nice 2 wraps I'll anchor that a little bit in a second, but I'm going to leave it there for now. And you can mark, the distance, or you can just eyeball it. Mine is probably 4 millimeter. I'm just going to turn a little shoulder, turn the wire over to the front, just right there. You can look to the back. Sometimes it helps you stay even. Don't push, don't pull. Just try to make 2 even bends to the front. Just like that. I come over here and grab this and turn it out. Grab this side, turn it out to your liking. Pinch them together. Watch the back wires because they're only tied on with this little bit. We'll put another wire in there. Just hold everything right here at the neck. Make a graceful turnout. Do the same on the other one. Make a nice graceful turnout. It's okay if these wings come out a little bit. Like I said, we still got to tie them. And then just pinch a little bit, push them to the back a little bit. Pinch, push them behind, that front wire we just did. Okay. Let's just park them right there for a second. Go ahead and give a little bit of a squeeze. Look down the top, make sure they look nice and even. And then now that these 2 sides are down, it'll be a little easier for you to end this wire. Do a couple of times around the inside too, to make some nice sturdy ending wraps right here. You only need 2 or 3, and then you can cut it away to the inside. And it'll be deep down here where it's between these 2 ears, and then nothing should get it. I might just go one more. Then I won't even have to cut it, I don't think. Might be a little bit tight, but it'll be a nice spot to tuck your wire because the chain won't ride there at all. Just turn it, come to the front, tap it all, just like that. Okay, that's so cute so far. And then if you need to just straighten it out a little bit, you can do that. Make sure the spine stays real nice and straight. Let's get another, and lay them down and settle it. Keep your sides in, but just settle your wires. Let's get another, let's just get a 6 inches, maybe 8 inches of 26 or 28 gauge, what we were just using. And I'm going to go ahead and slip through down here below the bead, the cab. Ooh, that's squirrely. This will help hold these wings in a little bit. Make 3 or 4 wraps, just try to get it clean, and then leave the wire on there so when we do the next couple of laps around with the frame wire, you'll have something to tie on. Okay. Just get a couple in there. That'll help hold these two sides, and that holds the bead, the cabochon in. And by the way, this could be a bead. You could just, have a drilled coin bead, and that would work really well too. So I'm going to make 3 or 4 little wraps right here to anchor my wire and to hold those side wires in. That's pretty good. Look down your pendant, make sure everything looks nice. Get rid of this leading wire, cut it and tuck it underneath. Actually, I'm going to take it around once down here. Lock it into that little space down there to be a little more secure. I'll just go a couple times. Snip. I'll turn this down and under. Give it a tap. Okay? That's pretty cute. Now with this last one, make sure that your curves are nice and it's all laying where you want it. Check your profile, make sure that things are laying pretty flat. And then just go, I like to flare this one out just a little bit because it's in the very back, so then you can see it a little bit. Just give it a little more shoulder up here. Put your fingernail there and just give it a little more shoulder. It's just coming to the back. Okay. This side the same, just kind of give it some extra shoulder there. Just bend it straight to the back. Pinching it here at the neck so that I can get this deep bend. See how just a little bit more shoulder. Stay flat. Keep your curves going outwards. Everything nice and flat. And just work them until you like them. Okay, so let's just work these. I'm under the camera, so I'm a little odd with these, but they should be living in the very back of your pendant. It's the very last row, so if you need to tap these a little bit, you can. You can make them live as far away from the pendant as you want, or as close to it as you want. These little wings here. It's a little bit tight with 18 gauge because it's big wire. Okay, so once I get the curves looking the way I want, I'm going to start with the one that's most on top. And I'm going to repeat. So right above this second bend, I'm going to take the wire firmly. I'm just going to do a nice bend up. I'm going to make sure it flares out a little bit. Okay. Just turn it up and make it lay down right there. Just like that, so there's just a little bit of shoulder showing. That's cute. Now do this side. Can do eyeball it, grab it where you like it. Make a nice controlled turn in that wire. Bend, I mean, in the wire. And turn the wire straight up. That looks cute. Cute. Just fiddle it till you like it. Straighten some things out. Pull these out so they work as like counter. See, if I pull it out, it pulls my curve in. I can just make adjustments until I like it. You just want to stay close to the frame. Oop, bent that one a little bit much. Make your sides look the way you want. That's adorable. Then when you're ready, make sure they're living nice and flat on the back of the frame, just like this, side by side, right here. Then you've got this wire already here. You can catch it one more time, and then you can end it. I'm going to put this one out a little bit more. Just bend it out a little bit so I can see it. Then I'll take this. When you get yours the way you like them, you can use this and do a couple of wraps underneath and around all of that. Just make it nice and neat. Cinch it up. You can even wrap yours a little neater than I'm doing here. I've kind of skipped around, skipped up a little bit for time. But I could make these, one coil after the next. Just for decoration's sakes. Just going to do a few though. Tighten it all up. Make one more. Just do yours cute, and then you can make a couple of wraps. I like to just go a couple of times around a single one to lock it in. And then cut it off. Right inside that shoulder, because we're just going to turn this last one down. If you're doing 18 gauge, it's pretty tight. Just tuck all that there. And before I cut anything off, I look to the front and settle all your pendant. Make sure everything looks the way you want it to, because you can adjust right now and bring these little flaps in or out a little bit more as you like. I'm going to turn this one out just slightly more. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Kind of want to bring this one in slightly, but it's not a big deal. So I'll take it from up here and just pull it slightly. I'm also looking at the wire that's in front of it because it might not. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And then you can do whatever you want. These two, you can go again and give it a little bit more if you want to. Or you can just cut them off in the back and call it done. Turn them down. So I'll show you where you can turn them down. I'll cut them a little bit long. Just going to trim them right up here. Okay. If I wanted to do a little something more, I might turn them down in a long fashion so that they show a little bit. Oop. So I just make a little extra shoulder like that there. And tuck the end right into there. That also gives you a place if you wanted to. This is pretty small pendant, so I wouldn't do any add-on. But it gives you a place to add on some more wire if you wanted to. So that's cute. Oh my god, that's so cute. And just tap all that. Make it sit the way you want it to. I'm going to put my pendant down, tap it on its belly, the neck. You know, you're not crushing it, you're just making sure everything's kind of sitting level. So cute. Got some wraps that I could probably clean up right there. But that's just darling, isn't it? And then if you don't want these little guys, you know, you turn them all the way down into those armpits there. So I would make them even shorter. I'm just going to cut them off. So you just leave them like that too. Oh, that's cute too. I just sand those little bits and leave them just like a little splash right there. Just like a little splash. Or you turn them down. Don't use them at all. Ooh. Okay, let me take them, get my round nose here. They're short, they're hard. So just work with control and turn them in just like that. Not to be seen or felt. Don't let anything move, don't push, don't pull. Just taking control that end and turn it down. Okay, so darling. Drop a little bead ball in there. I might just do that real quick. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is 18 gauge, so this wire is pretty thick. I probably don't have to do much more. If this were 20 gauge, I would definitely maybe put a little bead ball there and tie some of this together. You know, tie the front flap on. Alright, so I used some 26 gauge wire and just tied on a little 2mm bead ball right there and wrapped it around the back frame. So that is so cute. I hope you enjoyed Mini Quinn, and I hope you make a lot of them. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Thanks everyone.